So tell me a bit more about your story then. So as you move through your journey of autism and your focus and then you start writing patents left, right and centre. And just sort of tell me about what's driven that journey harder or faster.
So I think that overall, it has to do with the fact that it's a huge unmet medical need in the world, not just in the US, but everywhere. And so there's that piece. But what was driving me initially was the why, right? And so then when we finally kind of got to a place where I thought, oh, this is why, or this could be a why, then I had to go and test it and figure out whether that was right or not. But that's where sort of the disruption came in, because we're doing something that was completely novel.
Right.
So we're talking about a gut-brain drug. There isn't any, right? You got the gut-brain drug. Most drugs are discovered, or the way that they do it is they put a bunch of molecules in a laboratory, see which ones they can patent, and then they try to apply them to a disease. It's not about what they see in a patient. The patient's the last person that they consult, basically. And then, for us, there was no, and there still is no venture type money in autism drug treatment because of the uncertainty. So I had to go overcome all of that in order to do this. And, I was undaunted in terms of knowing that, look, if this can help children, I need to get there. And it didn't matter whether people said, that's not going to work. I don't understand what you're doing. What do you mean a gut-brain drug? And, now the microbiome and all that stuff, the gut-brain thing is not so weird.
Yeah, yeah.
When I first started this, it was like, what are you talking about? So I've been through a lot of iterations of people looking at this and saying, I don't understand it, to like, oh yeah, now I get it. And so there's a lot of pieces there.
So why do you think that you had that drive and that tenacity? Why do you think that you just didn't give up?
So I think that the knowledge that, I could help millions of children if it worked, right? Or the potential for helping millions of children. And also, I'm very authentic. So if you don't know what causes this, then just saying it doesn't exist is not real, right? That's not the right thing. People say, oh, they relegate some kind of symptom to, it's in your head, it's psychosomatic, it's this thing or that thing. But that's not real, right? That's not real. And so I used to say to the parents of the children who came in, if there was something that, the kind of practice I had was people came to me for like a second, third opinion to see if I can figure out what's going on with their child. And I said, look, I may not know the answer, but I will dog this to death with you. Get an answer.
Brilliant.
I can't tell you how many times I said that to parents. I will dog this to death with you. Because there is an answer. I mean, maybe there isn't a treatment. But you need to know that what you're seeing is real and part of a picture. So that's kind of my approach.
So where would you say you are in your journey right now?
So I think we are, going into a whole new phase of my journey, which is, we've completed the trials. We're getting ready to submit to FDA. And the question is, now, how do we go forward? Do we, we have to manufacture a drug to get approval anyway. Do we do that ourselves? Do we build out an infrastructure? Do we license it to someone? There's all that whole new financial world I'm living in. And so it's a very different phase. And when and for me, it's always about bringing other people on.
Of course.
Who have that expertise, right?
Yeah. But knowing the stuff you've been through, knowing the challenges, the hurdles, the barriers that you've had to navigate on this journey, and you're now coming into another set of barriers and brick walls and God knows what. I mean, would you say that, okay, this is the time I need to bring somebody in that perhaps understands that process more than perhaps the medical side of it that I've been dogging about? So is that the piece you're now trying to get those people?
Yes. And we've just brought one person on. We have bankers that we work with. So we are in that phase now where we're able to, the thing I do know is what I don't know. And that's really important when you do an entrepreneurial journey, because you can't raise a company. I call it like raising a child. You can't raise a company trying to figure out what it's gonna be in the end, or who's gonna buy you. Or
Yeah.
You can't manage it to an exit. You can't manage a child to an exit, right?
Although some parents would like to do that.
Yes, some do. And some do, which is kind of interesting. But it's not the best outcome when you manage to an exit.
The whole point of this podcast really is to understand people's motivations, what makes them do what they do. And I guess, when you look at businessmen, SMEs, or people that started a business, most people start a business because they feel that there's an opportunity to increase their financial stability, their wealth, their growth. We're going to be rich, going to have a big boat. And then some people start a business because they want to solve a problem. They want to enrich other people's lives somehow or another. And then you sort of think, well, hang a minute, you focused on making huge impacts on providing water for the 4 billion people that don't have water. And you sell 1 million bottles of water and you make a profit. You go, wow. The people that have done that in the first place and navigated all those challenges, making the money is not about their new house or their new boat. It's they then say, I can make another 1 million bottles. And it's all about creating that momentum to help more and more people solve a problem and enrich their lives. And that's what true entrepreneurs are doing. They're out there to make a difference. Right. Without it being all fluffy and whatever. It is truly about if you see you're making the difference, then that just gives you more energy to do it again and move further and faster.
Right. That's right. And for me, before I started the company, I went back to school to learn how to do a clinical trial because I knew I needed that skill. And then, I used to say I went kicking and screaming into being a biotech person. It's the last place I wanted to be. But I was compelled because of the promise of this finding. And, I never did it for the money. I was very happy in my life. But I just felt that if I didn't do it, I always have that nagging feeling like, well, wait a minute, I could have helped this kid and I didn't.
Yeah, regrets, right? You'd have faced regrets, yeah.
Yeah, I have
potentially
to live with myself, and I cannot live with myself unless I try.